Hello friends, myself Dr. Sonal Chabra, and today we are going to discuss on the issues of access and attention specifically with reference to children with special needs. We all are aware that education holds a very important place in lives of all the individuals, and the Government of India, the Constitution of India has been sensitive to this aspect. As per the Constitution of India, the government is committed to provide free and compulsory education to all the children in the age group of 6 to 14 years. However, equity is still an important issue in school education even after 70 years of independence. So, we need to really think about these factors, that why does equity is not happening in the government sector in school education. Government has made a lot of efforts in the similar direction. There have been a large number of primary schools which have been opened throughout the country. Schemes like free instructional material, midday meal, distribution of school uniforms, assistance to girls from tribal areas. There have been programs like DPEP, but still we haven't been able to achieve the right target. All these efforts which have been happening since independence were continued on a large scale under the Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan. Even with Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan happening, we had a section of children who are still marginalized, who are still aloof from the section of education. These marginalized children include the urban deprived children, the working children, the geographically remote located children, the minority children, the children from scheduled caste, children belonging to the scheduled tribes, children with special needs. In today's session, we are going to talk specifically about children with special needs, as in why they have been marginalized, why they have not been getting the appropriate education, and what kind of efforts the government has been making for ensuring that all these children reach to the school and get the desired education. Let us first understand why children with special needs have often been marginalized. The number one reason is on account of their disability. Disability becomes the most important factor when it comes to marginalization of these children in getting the right education. A certain lack of awareness has been felt on the part of the parents and the community about the potential of these children. It is felt that these children can't do much, they can't learn much, so the society, the parents, the community, they have not been investing in their education also. Thirdly, there are apprehensions on the part of the teachers also. As teachers, we are generally accustomed to normal children or the regular children who are coming to the school. But we need to get accustomed that these children can also study, they can also receive education, maybe with certain kind of modifications. The fourth important factor which has led to the marginalization of children with special needs is the societal attitude of sympathy. We do not look at these children with an attitude of empathy. We are looking at these children with an attitude of sympathy. Now, when it comes to sympathy, then it's a feeling of pittiness which is associated with these children. Another factor which contributes to the same is lack of understanding and knowledge about the causes, the implications of the special conditions of children with special needs. There is a certain kind of stigma which is attached to being a child with special need. Then there are other factors like unconducive school environment. The school environment is not conducive. The children make fun of these children. Then the classroom support and the learning resources and other kind of facilities are not equipped enough or are not able enough or are not welcoming enough to welcome the children with special needs into the normal classrooms. There have been different estimates and surveys which have shown that more than almost 1/3 of out of the school children are children with special needs. Now, that's a good figure, that's a huge amount of figure, that almost 1/3 of the school children are children, 1/3 of the school children who are out of school are children with special needs. Now, Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, which I have referred to the earlier slides, SSA aims to ensure that every child with special needs, irrespective of the category, irrespective of the degree of disability, is provided meaningful and quality education. Now, just having an aim is not enough. So, certain things need to be done in that direction. SSA has adopted a zero rejection policy. This means that no child having special needs should be deprived of the right to education. Coming down to Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, and let us now discuss what are the specific considerations which have been made in the framework of Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan with reference to children with special needs. SSA framework provides that a child with special needs should be taught in an environment which is best suited to his or her learning needs. So, if we draw implications from this framework, we need to understand that the environment needs to adapt to the needs of the child and not the child needs to adapt to the environment. We need to understand that when it comes to children with special needs, we need to really remember that it's the child which is first and the disability comes later on, or the special needs come later on. Different kind of provisions which have been mentioned in Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan may include special schools, alternative innovative education, or even home based education. So, if we go through these considerations or we go through these options which are available in the Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, they are specifically mentioning that fact that the curriculum is going to adapt to the child. The school education is going to adapt to the child. So, if the child cannot come to the school is going to move, or the education is going to move to the home. So, there is going to be home based education also, because we know that there are number of degrees. There is a huge range in the degree of disability which the child may be facing. Now, specific requirements with respect to children with special needs. There is need of resource support, special teacher training, mobility aid, appliances, etc. Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan talks about all these things, and Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan makes efforts in these direction that all these things are being catered to. Maybe with some kind of government support, and at times there may be support of the non-government sector also. Now, there are different other plausible efforts which at times need to be made in this direction, or which are maybe made in the direction, but they need to be strengthened in the same direction. So, the special facilities which are needed is community awareness, capacity building of village education committee, the in-service teacher training, making the school premises accessible and disabled friendly. Now, let's just understand what these factors are aiming at. Community awareness, why is it needed? Because there is a lack of awareness among the society about what these children can do. Then, village education committees can be strengthened, and if they are strengthened, then definitely more number of children are going to come to the school. In-service teacher training, because with RT coming, now the children with special needs are moving to the schools. Earlier, they were generally into the special schools. If they were into schools, they were generally into special schools. But with right to education coming in, with SSA coming in strengtheningly, so it needs to be done that the in-service teachers which are already into teaching, they should be prepared for dealing with or for working with children with special needs. Next, the school premises should be accessible. The school premises should be disabled friendly. So, if a child cannot walk up to the stairs, the school can make a simple effort of making a ramp so that it becomes accessible to the child. Amongst all these factors, which comes another important factor is identification of children with special needs. This is a very important factor because till now what is happening is the regular children are coming to the school. The regular children are located in the society. But what happens with children with special needs is generally they are confined to homes because there is a certain kind of stigma which is attached to it. So, even the parents, even the families do not easily come out with that. So, identification of children with special needs becomes an important factor. Now, how it can be done through is, number one, household surveys can be done. Then secondary, category wise count of the disabled children should be done. Category wise needs should be mentioned. Number of children with visual impairment, number of children with mental impairment, number of children with locomotor impairment, all these would help. If there is a count available in this category, or if there is a count available according to these standards, it is going to be easier to plan the curriculum and other kinds of needs for the children. Then another thing which needs to be done is the functional assessment of the children. Now, when we are planning for children with special needs, one needs to understand that there needs to be a certain kind of assessment which needs to be done for the children. Until and unless we know where these children stand, until and unless we know the level of different capacities of these children, we won't be able to work out with them. We won't be able to plan things in a better manner for them. Then another effort which can be done for moving these children to school or for getting these children out of home to school is there can be special transport facilities which can be arranged. Then another factor could be appointment of trained special education teachers. Already a lot of effort is being done in this direction. There is a course which has been introduced lately is B.Ed Special Education. So, teachers are being specifically trained as special education teachers, and definitely they are an asset to any school or institution which the school has. Then there is a need of long-term training of physiotherapists and occupational therapists. Now, when it comes to children with special needs, it's not only the teachers who are working with the children. It's the family which is working with them, it's the special educators which are working with them, and there is a section of paramedicals which are physiotherapists and occupational therapists. So, a long-term training of physiotherapist and occupational therapist is needed so as to work with children with special needs, so as to provide them appropriate education. Then another possible effort could be using non-government organizations for arranging special schools or for arranging special schools for training, assessment, implementing innovative educational devices, etc. Now, this area needs to be really explored. Non-government sector has always been contributing to it, there is no doubt about it. But if they are more into the system, if they are involved more into the system, definitely the efforts could be better, definitely the results could be better. Then moving further, we need to really make an adaptation of curriculum to meet the needs of the children. Until and unless the curriculum is adapted to the needs of the children, the school won't be able to hold the children. Remember, we are talking about not just the access, we are talking about the retention of the children with special needs in the schools also. Just making them reach the school won't suffice the purpose. The purpose would be achieved only if these children are retented in the school, they are provided certain kind of education which suits their needs. So, the curriculum needs to adapt itself to meet the needs of the children. If it's a child with visual impairment, maybe he won't be able to understand the geographical maps. So, certain other things could be done to make him understand the similar concept. So, these similar adaptations, small adaptations but important adaptations definitely need to be made as per the needs of the child. If it comes to physical activities, maybe the child with visual impairment cannot do the similar physical activities which would be done by the children of his own age group. So, there needs to be certain kind of modifications which can be made probably in the playground or probably in the classroom also, which can help the child to get involved in the physical activities but with certain kind of adaptation. So, curriculum seems to be the key point where the children can be retented. All other kinds of facilities can boost that thing, but curriculum is the center point around which it depends how much the children are going to retain in the school. Then another factor would be relaxation with respect to evaluation and examination. We need to really make certain kind of relaxations with respect to evaluation and examination system. We need to provide scribes to these children. We need to provide extra time for these children. There are different kinds of disability. A child may be suffering from learning disability, a child may be suffering from visual impairment, a child may be having hearing impairment, but we cannot mark all these children on the similar scale. Even with the normal children, we do talk about those kind of things, that a single test cannot evaluate all the children in the same manner. You cannot compare a monkey and a rabbit on the speed of climbing the tree. Definitely the monkey is going to do it in a better manner. So, we need to really make certain kind of changes, we need to make really certain kind of relaxations when it comes to evaluation and examination. Then comes another factor which talks about removing architectural barriers in existing schools. See, we are talking about making the curriculum adaptive, but we need to really make the school also adaptive to the needs of the child. So, the simplest thing which can be done is making certain kind of architectural barriers, removing certain kind of architectural barriers which exist in the school. Like I earlier mentioned that we can make ramps instead of the staircases. So, or probably we can have both of them. We would definitely need both of them, because there would be certain children who would be able to climb the stairs, but there would be certain children who would be needing the ramps. So, these simple things are not just going to boost the confidence of the child, they are just not going to move him out of the shell of inabilities which he is experiencing or which he has been experiencing for long, and also he is going to feel the school as his own place. Until and unless the child feels that the school has its own place, he is not coming to an external thing, or he is not coming to a thing which he doesn't knows, the child won't feel at home. So, if these kind of architectural barriers are being removed, then definitely it is going to help in retenting the child to in the schools. Then another factor is involvement of parents, NGOs and village education committees. See, it is the society, ultimately it is the parents, ultimately it is the village education committees which can definitely help in improving the facilities which are being provided by the school for retenting the children with special needs. See, we need to move to the society, we need to make them stigma free, we need to make really the children with special needs stigma free, we need to create an awareness among the parents that these children can do. We can involve non-government organizations for the same, and we can strengthen the village education committees for the same. If these kind of similar efforts are being made in this direction, definitely there cannot be any reasons why children with special needs won't retent in the school. So, we need to remember that if we talk of access, if we talk of retention, we need to make changes in architecture, we need to involve the parents, we need to involve the community, we need to adapt the curriculum, we need to relax the examination system or the evaluation system, we need to use NGOs for training schools or for training special teachers for the same. We need to indulge in the long-term training of physiotherapists and occupational therapists. We need to appoint special education teachers. Now, if we make efforts in all these directions, definitely the situation is going to improve and we are going to have more number of children with special needs in the schools, and we will be able to give them the education which they need as per their needs. Having discussed what kind of plausible efforts which can be made by the government, by the society for indulging into the education of children with special needs and for bringing them into the system of education, we all need to remember that the peer support is also another factor which may be a sublime factor, but which becomes an essential factor when it comes to day interaction of the children in the schools. So, a system of peer tutoring or a sensitivity among the students also needs to be developed so that the children do not feel out of place. See, ultimately children with special needs are not going to, children with special needs or for that matter any kind of children is not living with the teacher for the whole 6 hours which he is spending in the school. It is the friends, it is the classmates which he is spending time with. So, if these children are more sensitive to the needs of the child, if these children are more conscious of the needs of the child, then definitely the environment which the child is going to feel is going to be much better in the classroom. Once the environment is better, once the child feels more comfortable in the environment, once the child feels more happy about the environment which he is living in or which he is coming into in the school, then definitely the amount of input which he is going to put into education is definitely going to be more. So, the learning outcomes are definitely going to be improved or definitely going to go up. These apprehensions which are there on the part of the teachers definitely need to be removed. Now, once the apprehensions of the teachers are removed, which can be done with certain kind of in-service training, which can be done with certain kind of interactive sessions with the teachers will also feel more engaged and the teachers will also feel more equipped to handle to the needs of the children with special needs. The societal attitude definitely needs a workout. There is a lack of understanding and there is a lack of knowledge which is about the potential of children with special needs among the general society. Now, if it is worked out, then again there are different kind of ways in which it can be worked out. The media can be definitely used in the same direction, and all these efforts would definitely bring the children with special needs more into the system, give them access, give them retention, and they are going to contribute to the society in a more productive manner. Thank you.
पर ये मुस्कान आई है शिक्षा के जरिए। ये मुस्कान आई है नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ ओपन स्कूलिंग यानी NIOS के जरिए। नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ ओपन स्कूलिंग या राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विद्यालयी शिक्षा संस्थान, इस संस्थान का एक बड़ा उद्देश्य है आम आदमियों के जीवन को बेहतर बनाना। ऐसे लोग जिनके लिए शिक्षा एक दूर का सपना है, या वे बच्चे जो परिवार की रोजी रोटी कमाने के लिए बीच में ही स्कूल छोड़ने पर मजबूर हो जाते हैं। NIOS ऐसे बच्चों और बड़ों को दोबारा शिक्षा से जुड़ने का मौका मुहैया कराता है ताकि वे एक बेहतर जीवन जी सकें। 1989 में स्थापना के बाद NIOS ने देश के लाखों बच्चों और वयस्कों को बेहतर शिक्षा से जोड़ा है। इनमें हर उम्र, हर पृष्ठभूमि, हर जाति, हर मजहब और हर क्षेत्र के लड़के लड़कियां, महिलाएं और पुरुष शामिल हैं। बढ़ई से लेकर पायलट, डॉक्टर, इंजीनियर, बेकर और दर्जी तक NIOS कोशिश कर रहा है सबको शिक्षित और सशक्त बनाने की, चाहे वो असम के दूर दराज इलाके में रहने वाला हो या फिर मुंबई जैसे महानगर का। NIOS ने अपनी मौजूदगी हर जगह दर्ज कराई है। NIOS ने शिक्षा की परंपरागत सोच को ही बदल दिया है। वो पढ़िए जो हम पढ़ाते हैं की जगह NIOS की नई सोच है, हम वो पढ़ाते हैं जो आप पढ़ना चाहते हैं। इस नई सोच ने लोगों को आगे बढ़ने और NIOS के साथ जुड़ने के लिए प्रोत्साहित किया है। शिक्षा उपलब्ध कराने के मामले में NIOS किसी सीमा को नहीं मानता, उम्र की सीमा को भी नहीं। चंडीगढ़ के गणेश के लिए भी NIOS एक वरदान साबित हुआ। NIOS शारीरिक रूप से अक्षम बच्चों को भी बेहतर शिक्षा मुहैया कराने के लिए पूरी तरह प्रतिबद्ध है। ऐसे बच्चों के लिए शिक्षा न केवल रोजगार के द्वार खोलती है, बल्कि उन्हें आत्मविश्वास और गर्व के साथ जीना भी सिखाती है। NIOS खेल के इन सितारों को उनकी सुविधा और समय के अनुसार बेहतर शिक्षा उपलब्ध कराता है। मेरी कॉम, सोमदेव देववर्मन, देविका रेबेका पल्लिकल, अरमान इब्राहिम, प्रद्युमन प्रकाश और अमयजोत सिंह। NIOS सीमा पर खड़े उन प्रहरियों को भी शिक्षा से लाभान्वित करता है जो देश की सुरक्षा के लिए अपनी जान की बाजी लगाने से भी नहीं चूकते। सच तो ये है कि NIOS की पहुंच हर ओर रहती है, चाहे वो दूर दराज के आदिवासी हो या जेल की कोठरी में बंद कैदी या फिर ग्रामीण और शहरी क्षेत्रों के गरीब निवासी। देश में कहीं भी कोई भी व्यक्ति, स्त्री, पुरुष, लड़का, लड़की, अमीर, गरीब शिक्षा से वंचित न रहे। राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विद्यालयी शिक्षा संस्थान का यही मिशन है।
राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विद्यालय शिक्षा संस्थान पूरे देश में शिक्षा के साथ साथ कौशल विकास के क्षेत्र में बहुत सारे कोर्सेज दे रहा है। लगभग 100 से ज़्यादा कोर्सेज हैं। हम दूर दराज के गांव में अपने संस्थान बनाते हैं और वहाँ के बच्चों को, वहाँ के बच्चियों को, वहाँ के वयस्कों को हुनर के क्षेत्र में शिक्षा पहुँचाते हैं। आपको जानकर खुशी होगी कि अब हम आर्ट, साइंस, कॉमर्स जिन क्षेत्रों में 12वीं का सर्टिफिकेट दिया जाता रहा है, अब हम हुनर के क्षेत्र में, वोकेशनल एरिया में भी 10वीं और 12वीं का सर्टिफिकेशन करेंगे। तो वो बच्चे जो कृषि से जुड़े हुए हैं, कारपेंट्री से जुड़े हुए हैं या दूसरे क्षेत्रों से जुड़े हुए हैं, वो अपने ही क्षेत्र में काम करेंगे, सीखेंगे, हुनर पैदा करेंगे अपने में और सर्टिफाइड भी होंगे कि वो सर्टिफाइड कृषक हैं, खेतिहर हैं। तो आज तक जो हमारे देश में ये सोच रही है कि आप 12वीं पास तभी कहे जाएंगे जब भूगोल, अर्थशास्त्र, भौतिकी ये पढ़ेंगे, अब ये समय बदल गया है। ITI में जितने बच्चे पढ़ते हैं, लगभग 18 लाख बच्चे हर साल दाखिला लेते हैं। अब हम उनको सर्टिफिकेशन करेंगे।
NIOS अपने छात्रों को माध्यमिक स्तर पर 26 और उच्च माध्यमिक स्तर पर 19 विषयों का विकल्प देता है। पढ़ाई किस माध्यम से करनी है, इसमें भी आपको लचीलापन मिलेगा। माध्यमिक स्तर पर ही 7 भाषाओं के अलग अलग माध्यमों का विकल्प मौजूद है। शैक्षणिक कार्यक्रमों के अलावा 86 वोकेशनल शिक्षा कार्यक्रम भी उपलब्ध हैं, जो छात्रों को कामकाजी दुनिया के लिए तैयार करते हैं। वोकेशनल प्रशिक्षण को अधिक सुदृढ़ बनाने के लिए NIOS ने ITDC, सिस्को, इंडियन मेडिकल एसोसिएशन जैसे कई सरकारी और गैर सरकारी संस्थानों के साथ भागीदारी स्थापित की है। आज लाखों छात्रों के लिए अपनी पसंद का स्कूल है राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विद्यालयी शिक्षा संस्थान यानी नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ ओपन स्कूलिंग। NIOS ने एक लंबा सफर तय किया है, लेकिन मंजिल अभी दूर है। निरंतर विकास और नवीनीकरण के लिए NIOS सदैव प्रतिबद्ध है। शिक्षा का उद्देश्य महज रोजगार जुटाना ही नहीं है, बल्कि स्वयं को सशक्त बनाना भी है। NIOS लाखों छात्रों के लिए यही आत्मसम्मान दिलाने में जुटा है। लाखों लोगों के लिए एक आशा और उम्मीद है। नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ ओपन स्कूलिंग। शिक्षा सबके लिए, कहीं भी, कभी भी।
घर बैठे पाएं राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विद्यालयी शिक्षा संस्थान यानी NIOS में एडमिशन, वो भी एकदम आसान तरीके से, जिससे शिक्षार्थियों को होगी समय और धन दोनों की बचत। NIOS से शिक्षा कभी भी, कहीं भी। शिक्षार्थियों, क्या आप जानते हैं NIOS में एडमिशन लेने का सरल और सुगम तरीका, जिससे शिक्षार्थियों को ऑनलाइन प्रवेश लेने में सहूलियत मिलती है। NIOS में प्रवेश की प्रक्रिया पूर्णतया ऑनलाइन है। शिक्षार्थी घर बैठे इंटरनेट द्वारा प्रवेश के लिए सबसे पहले NIOS की वेबसाइट www.nios.ac.in पर लॉगिन करें। अपना ईमेल आईडी और पासवर्ड डालकर अपना पंजीकरण करें। पंजीकरण के बाद लॉगिन करने पर ऑनलाइन प्रवेश हेतु आवेदन पत्र खुलेगा। आवेदन पत्र को निर्देशानुसार भरें और प्रिंट आउट लें। इस प्रिंट आउट पर अपनी फोटो संलग्न करें। ऑनलाइन प्रवेश के लिए शुल्क हेतु भुगतान के तरीके हैं: क्रेडिट कार्ड के द्वारा, डेबिट कार्ड के द्वारा, राष्ट्रीयकृत बैंक के ड्राफ्ट के माध्यम से, जो कि सचिव NIOS नई दिल्ली या नोएडा के पक्ष में देय हो। भरे हुए आवेदन पत्र के साथ साथ डिमांड ड्राफ्ट और संलग्न किए जाने वाले दस्तावेज हैं: जन्म रजिस्ट्रार के जिला कार्यालय से जारी जन्म प्रमाण पत्र की सत्यापित प्रति, जिसमें जन्म तिथि अंकित हो, पिछले विद्यालय से प्राप्त विद्यालय छोड़ने का प्रमाण पत्र, जिसमें आवेदक की जन्म तिथि लिखी हो। प्रवेश फॉर्म का प्रिंट आउट NIOS के संबद्ध क्षेत्रीय केंद्रों पर 10 दिनों में पहुंच जाना चाहिए, अन्यथा उचित दस्तावेज न लगे होने पर आवेदन फॉर्म रद्द किया जा सकता है। प्रवेश प्रक्रिया की पुष्टि होने के बाद शिक्षार्थियों को परिचय पत्र व अध्ययन सामग्री डाक द्वारा तुरंत पहुंचाई जाती है। ऑनलाइन प्रवेश एक बहुत ही सुगम और सुविधाजनक प्रवेश प्रणाली है। ऑनलाइन ऑन टाइम फॉर सेफ एंड सिक्योर एडमिशन।